What's up, guys? I am in my garage and I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the projects I'm working on out here. And I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but I got a Gen 1 big blue Capcom arcade cabinet, the 4-slot. I'll get into that in a second. And then obviously you've seen this guy, the Neo Geo Big Red 4-slot. I've had that for over a decade, and recently I picked this up locally. This is an Atari Blasteroids that obviously didn't make money as a Blasteroids, got changed into a Sega clutch hitter. Who knows how much money that made? Probably not a lot. And this was right down the street from me that I bought for 250 bucks. So I guess I want to just talk about, like, you know, the Neo Geo and something like this Blasteroids. If you're patient, you can find decent stuff for less than $1,000, maybe around 800, maybe 250. And you know, like the Candy Cab stuff is all north of 2,000 at this point. And if you're just starting out, you know, that's a lot. Like, what happens if something minor goes wrong with it and you really don't know? Like, you can learn on a Candy Cab for sure, but it's a little nerve-wracking if you're really a novice and, you know, you just imported, you know, like an Astro City or Blast City or something like that. And it's not as bad with like the new stuff, like the Vulixes, because, you know, you can kind of still replace the monitor pretty easy. But if you're kind of learning on power tubes, why not get an American Cab? Because all the parts are available. There's a ton of resources online, and you know, it's just a lot easier to find parts. So anyways, let me talk about this big blue. So I got this actually over a year ago, and it took a while to sort out because it was set up and it still has the CPO and some move strips for Capcom vs SNK 2, and so that means it had a Naomi in it with a Capcom IO converting the JVS standard to the JAMA standard. If you don't know what that means, you know, like JAMA is like an old standard from basically very end of the 80s up until mid 2000s. But when the stuff started to go higher resolution, especially with the Naomi, they came up with a different standard, JVS, which is kind of, I don't know, more of like a converted computer interface, which I haven't really done a lot with JVS, so it might be obvious from the way I'm talking about it. But so this had a Naomi brain wiring, and the guy just took the Naomi, the GD-ROM, and tore it out and gave it, you know, sold it to me for $800. And if I'm honest, I'm not sure it was a great deal because I drove 3 hours to get it. But it is cool. It is starting to get cool. I have a CPO for it for Street Fighter 2 World Warriors, so it's got like the globe with all the different locations that the fighters are from. And I've gone through this replacing micro switches, which is very easy, but a lot of wiring work and a whole power supply rework and a monitor cap kit. And unfortunately for this cab, I don't know if you can tell from the color here, it's a little green. And that's because the green gun is kind of turned up because it is so weak. So the tube is a bit tired. but I just spent way too long fiddling with it, and I got it to this point, which is not bad. I think if this were in an arcade, you would play it, but it's not as vibrant as the rest of my stuff. But I've got a tube swap candidate in the form of this ugly, like nobody wants this thing, 25-inch Sanyo television, which I have it on good authority is a direct swap for that Wells Gardner K7000. So this is an RF only guy that I got in my town for $20. So that's gonna be fun. I've never done a tube swap, so again, just kind of a good learning experience. I don't think it'll be too easy to tube swap a candy cab, but for these, there's a lot of information online how to do it. So again, it's kind of one of the beauty of having like some of these American machines. They're cheaper, you can find parts, and it's a lot of resources in English from longtime pros that did this as a career. And one of the best sites on the internet is therealbobroberts.net or .org, and that's like an old Capcom operator that well, about 20 years ago now, maybe more, he was selling arcade components, to enthusiasts and other operators, and he ran Pac-Man, as an operator for decades. So one thing that he did is he obviously got jazzed with the internet, and he just started writing down like all his knowledge and little tidbits, and people ask him a question, he'd write a whole essay with photos explaining. So again, if you're starting out in arcade stuff, I would recommend picking up a machine locally for short money, and I would try to find one that the monitor works, like something like this. Maybe the game is bad, maybe something, a lot of people are selling these, and like, they'll say like one of the buttons doesn't work, and they don't know anything about it, and they're selling it for cheaper. Like you can find them for people that just want them out of their house. So for short money, you can learn a great deal about the hobby with an American machine. And I'm really interested what you guys think about this Blasteroids Sega Mutant that I'm putting together, because an awesome thing about this, and another thing that I would look out for is like what kind of layout are the buttons and joysticks, because a lot of times they get a game like Blasteroids that didn't make money, and they'd quickly and in a haphazard way convert the game to something else. Luckily, Blasteroids was a 3-button game with a couple of spinners, so they just put joysticks, and that's all they did. So that's a perfect Jamacab. 3-button games, 2-button games, 1-button games. You could just put little plugs in these, and if you wanted to. I'm running Final Fight, plugged right in. I did do some wiring work, and I did a cap kit to this monitor and adjusted it. Looks really good, really, really good. And I basically did all that for the price of 2 new joysticks and some micro switches and a cap kit. So I want to say maybe additional $75 was spent on top of the $250. So not inexpensive, but when you compare that to importing an Astro City right now, or a Blast City, that is going to cost you over $2,000, and by the time you get all the stuff you want for it, it's probably going to be $3,000. So yeah, I'm a fan of this, and I kind of want a couple more. I don't know if I have the room for it though, but I wouldn't mind getting something even older, right? Like I don't know, I mean, obviously like a Pac-Man, if I can find one, but really the game I like is Centipede. So anyways, this game, they changed it to clutch hitter, and I like the side art clutch hitter. The marquee's a little faded. You know, it's got the kind of lineups here, and it's just kind of vanilla. The control panel, Sega made this CPO in like a blue also, so Shinobi a lot of times is like just blue with the Sega logo. I love the Sega logo, obviously, and the green is cool. I think the guy, somebody along the line, put this kind of heavy-duty red tape, because I'm sure this is like chewed up and maybe sharp, who knows. And I gotta say, I don't hate how it looks just right there. I would like to do some different, either marquee and maybe different side art. So I've got Final Fight running on there, and it looks really good, like very good. And then this side is blank. So you could put Final Fight side art. I've got a System 16 multi, so I was looking at those side arts. I like the eSWAT side art. I don't really like the eSWAT game, but curious what you think I should make this into, or should I just, you know, not do anything? What else is going on? Oh, I don't know if I've ever shown this off, but I do have Cross Swords 2 MVS kit. So I had Windjammers in there. I don't know if you can see. You're not going to be able to see it, but I assure you, you know who you're talking to here. I got the full kit. So I got Fatal Fury 3, Cross Swords 2, and Mark of the Wolves, and some Samurai Showdown 2. And obviously, like, getting a Neo Geo cab is a lot of fun. It's a little more complicated with multi-slots, some cabling that's kind of unique to its to the system. But I can't imagine, like, it is maybe the best place to start, because you can get different carts, slap them in, and you don't even have to, like, necessarily unplug a harness, right? And if something goes on, maybe you try to tackle a cap kit, or maybe you try to, you know, I don't know, replace all the sticks and buttons. The only problem with these is they're a little bit more expensive, but JAMA boards are not cheap on themselves, but yeah. This is like the most badass Neo Geo intro. Be curious, what do you guys think, if you're Neo Geo fans, what are your favorite, like, track sequences on the Neo Geo? That's definitely one of mine. All right, so yeah, don't sleep on the American cabs, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't tried a shooting game with this yet, but the sticks that came with this were Wicco, but not like the Leaf switch Wiccos. Oh, I gotta change something here, I just noticed. See, it's like a little smushed at the bottom. I know how to fix that. Anyways, it had awful awful Wicco sticks, and people like restore those, like, but I think they restore a different Wicco than the one I had, or mine was totally effed. And it took, one came apart perfectly, the other was so pitted, rusted, fused together, it barely functioned. It took me over an hour to take it out of the control panel. And yeah, so these Samwa JLWs, I think they're no longer made, but you can find them, and they're definitely not short throw, but they feel great. They're great for something like a beat 'em up. And I love the dust washer on it. It's got this big honking dust washer. Let me get the trouble light out so you can maybe see. I don't know if that helps. Nope. Well, sorry guys. I'm not going to be able to do that. Let's see if I can get it here. But it's got a big washer. It says San Juan, and it's got an elephant. I don't know why they don't do that on all their sticks. Maybe I'd buy more of them. But, yeah. Alright, guys. The rest of the stuff you see here is all, like, basically tabletop wargaming related. Warhammer stuff. And, I like orcs. Right? Orcs are the best. Anyways. That is what's going on. And just a little walk and talk, talking American cabs. Not maybe what you're used to me showing off, but I got this stuff too, and I like it. Alright guys, take care, hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Take care.